Redbirds?
Yeah, looking forward to this weekend. It'll be a challenging weekend for us, short turnaround, but it's great to be at home for another series. And, I think our guys are excited for, the last half of conference play here. And, Illinois State, they have great guards. They're a young team like us. They play extremely hard, so we know we got our hands full. I think Reeves and Horn are playing as well as anyone in terms of the ability to score the ball. I think they're both averaging 17 points a game their last 5 games. So we have to be ready to go defensively. We got to be able to get stops. They play extremely fast. And then offensively, they've been playing a lot of zone, and we've got to do a good job taking care of the ball.
Jason Hurst?
Hey, Coach. I feel like we're always asking the same questions constantly about how do you get good looks, do you like what you see. So going into this, what is, I guess, the mindset? Because I feel like we're asking the same questions.
Offensively, you're saying, Jason?
Yeah, just overall, because I feel like with this group, we're just constantly asking the same questions. But I feel like going into it, offensively, defensively, what's the mindset?
I think when you take care of the ball, I think when you rebound, I think when you make more free throws than another team shoots, I think those are all good formulas for winning basketball. And I think when we've done that, our team's been successful. And I think, when we have turned the ball over and allowed the other team to score in transition, when we haven't executed as well offensively. I think in the second half when our defense hasn't been as good as the first half defense, I think those have caused our team to struggle in games. I think our team has came out every single game the right way with the right mentality, ready to win. I think they've been prepared. I just think the consistency for 40 minutes for a young team with back-to-back games and not having a lot of practice time, that's where we've struggled, and we've got to get better, over these next 2 weeks heading into our conference tournament to be able to put together 40 minutes of, SIU basketball. So, I don't think there's anything magical or, we're not going to recreate anything in terms of what we're doing offensively and defensively. We just got to do it at a higher level more consistently.
And again, I mentioned we keep asking the same questions, and after a loss, as if there, like you said, there's nothing magical. Is it with us and everybody else? Do we just have to be patient because, like you said, it's just a young group, and maybe it's just they need experience and just need to continue to gel?
I think you have to be patient while being impatient. We expect to win every single game, and we're not satisfied ever with playing well and losing. We have to be better. We got to continue to improve, and the only way you do that is to get better every single day. It starts with practices, walkthroughs, film sessions, and like I said, we want to be playing our best basketball these next couple weeks, obviously, and that's our goal.
And then the last thing for me, seems like there will be games. Last game, great performance by Dalton Banks, and then it was before that, it's for Plankin. All right. Guys are getting opportunities to step it up. How is it to get each of them to have those great performances all at the same time, or just it seems like somebody's stepping up, but it's a different game? How do you get it to be a complete game from each of them?
Yeah, that's the goal, obviously. Try to get everyone on the same page for 40 minutes. I think we have different guys play really well in spurts, and we don't need anyone to have the game of their lives each game. We just have to have everyone do what they're capable of doing possession by possession. And we can't have lapses throughout the game. And, I got to do some things better, put our guys in better positions so that they have a chance to be more successful on the court. And we're continuing to work with that. And, I think that's the hardest thing, for young guys is, that consistency factor, to play at a high level for 40 minutes against really, really good teams who are well coached and who are prepared.
Thanks, Coach.
Matt Varney?
Coach, you always talk about getting the winners in the recruiting game. How has the roster responded to the struggles of in-conference play from a mental standpoint?
Yeah, well, I think everyone's frustrated after the game. Everyone's disappointed. There's been tears in the locker room. But I also think the character of this team, in terms of the next day in practices and wanting to get better every day, is the reason why we're going to be successful, and the reason why I think the team's ready to come out and play every single game, because they're ready for the challenge. And all these guys are used to winning, and this is probably different in terms of the adversity that some of them are facing, and this is obviously a unique year, and have had a lot of interruptions that they can't control, but they've done a great job in terms of their mindset every single day, preparing themselves to be successful.
You've got 5 home games coming up here, starting this weekend. How important has it been being at home in your eyes in this very weird season?
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of home games the last 2 months. Obviously part of that is with the pause, and obviously when you have a young team, I think you're more comfortable on the road. Now this year without fans, maybe the home court advantage isn't as big of a deciding factor as it normally is. But for us, it's good to have some consecutive games at home. They're going to come fast, though. Obviously, we got 5 games in a week, which is extremely unusual. So our guys are looking forward to it. Like I said, I think they'll be excited to play tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
With Marcus being out, obviously there's going to be a vacuum on the roster. Who, in your mind, has taken the most of the opportunity with that space kind of opening up and being out?
Did you ask who's taking advantage of the opportunity with Marcus being out?
Yeah, who the most would you say in your eyes?
I think everyone's had moments. I think everyone's taken advantage of it at different times. And no one person is gonna replace Marcus, and we've said that from the beginning, that it's got to be by committee, it's got to be by a group, and I think our guys have done that. Different guys have stepped up in different games, and like we addressed earlier, trying to get everyone to play at a high level, not do anything crazy or anything special, but for everyone to be connected for 40 minutes. And I think at times we've done that, and that's why we've had opportunities to win basically every single game we've been in with Marcus out right now. And if we can clean up a couple minutes throughout the game, I think we can be successful here in the last couple weeks of the season.
And then the Redbirds have struggled obviously this year at the bottom of the valley in the standings. Where have they struggled, do you see, on film?
Well, I think they're young. I think it's been an unusual season for them. I think they've had some injuries as well. I know Josiah Strong is one of their better guards, was out these past 6 games for a little bit, so I think that hurts them because he's one of their older guards. I think just that youth right now is probably the biggest thing in terms of going through this season, playing back to back, on the road, trying to deal with all that. I think that's been challenging.
Thank you, Coach.
Todd?
Bryan, they've done a lot of zone defense. You guys have been so good against the zone. Nobody really tries it against you. Just how well have you guys moved the ball when you've had that situation?
Yeah, we've done a good job. We haven't faced a lot of it. A couple teams have sprinkled in a couple possessions here and there, and we've handled it well for the couple possessions that we faced throughout the season. But this will be really the first team that has shown a majority of zone. Now they've played man, and I'm sure we'll see man against them as well. So we have to prepare for both. But the biggest thing is obviously taking care of the ball against the zone, and making sure that you try to get the shots you want and not the shots that the zone is trying to force you to take.
You were right there with Missouri State without Kyler in the lineup, but I guess how do you keep him on the lineup and try to keep him out of foul trouble? Because I'm sure they'll go at him Saturday.
Yeah, we got to do a better job, with him individually, just making sure that we're teaching him the proper techniques and, getting him out of foul trouble, not using his hands as much, and then the rest of the guys, help side defense, giving them some help down there. But, Kyler's going to play as hard as he can. He's going to compete as hard as he can. And, You know, if he gets in foul trouble, we'll have to adjust. But you know, hopefully we can keep him on the court.
Have you seen a really big difference in Antonio Reeves' game this season when you watch him?
Just, you know, I think a lot more comfortable than his freshman year, obviously. You know, I think Coach Muller's got a ton of confidence in him. He's got a ton of confidence. You know, he's playing like a high-level guard right now. He's making tough shots. He can shoot the ball from three. He can hit the pull-up off ball screens, and he can get to the basket. He's getting to the free throw line a lot more than he did his freshman year. So, you know, he's turned himself into a really good player.
You know, what can you say about Marcus' situation? Is it, I mean, do you feel like, are you still confident you'll get him back before the tournament? Or do you feel like you may not get him back this season?
Yeah, he's progressing. You know, I think he's on the right track. So, I mean, I think that's positive news, and you know, I think it's really going to be, you know, kind of the pain tolerance and just kind of day by day, week by week from here on out. And you know, obviously, we're always going to do what's in the best interest of Marcus. And so, you know, I know he wants to play. You know, that's been his message throughout this whole process, and we're making sure that. You know, if he does, when he does, that he's healthy when he does play. So, you know, but he is progressing the right direction right now.
I mean, am I correct? You may not get to see the doctor until next Thursday, so you probably had a Wednesday's game as well?
No, you know, we'll reevaluate him after the weekend, you know, after Sunday and see how he's feeling on Monday.
And I'm doing something on Jacoby Long, Brian. You recruited him, you know, partly because of his experience. I know he hasn't played a lot, but has brought something, some things that you thought he would to the team this year? Yeah,
Jacoby's been an unbelievable teammate. You know, Jacoby's had a lot of injuries really throughout the not serious ones, but all those nagging ones with a groin and hamstring throughout the fall, and then throughout the first half of the season, and then. You know, was on pause with being in quarantine as well. So, you know, he's had a lot of things outside of his control kind of affect the basketball part of it. But in terms of in the locker room, in the apartments, he's been awesome. He echoes the message. He relays the culture. So he's been a great addition to our program.